Paladin, Maris HQ, Cap Request, India, Hotel, Niner, 3, Objective, Dust Bowl. 2 friendly, A-19, ETA, 5 minutes. No friendlies in the air at this time. Hunter reports 2 hostile KR-67s. You are weapons free.
Tally ho on some new contacts. Watch it.
On the way! Fox 3! Fox 3! Fox 3! Another one gone!
Heads up, new contacts rolling in.
Fox 3 fired!
Fast mover out of action.
This way! They're out of action!
Enemy aircraft shut down. Tally ho on some new contacts. Watch it.
The Paula counterattack on Dust Bowl is here, and before Chosen 6 can get his CAS, you need to keep the skies above clear so those brawlers don't get torn to shreds by the enemy ifrits that are rolling in. Gain and maintain local air superiority so they can complete their mission and rescue the friendly armor holding Dust Bowl. A combat air patrol is a defensive operation to keep the enemy out of some area. Whether that's protecting attack aircraft and AWACS, or creating a barrier around an airbase, your objective is to let the rest of the team complete their missions unhindered by enemy fire. A kill, or forcing the enemy to disengage, are both wins, as you are an enabler for your team, and as long as that happens, you are successful. You need to identify the area in highest need of protection and patrol that area. You could be flying loops around an airfield, shooting down incoming Tuscos, or running up and down the front line, keeping your brawlers safe. Maybe you have identified a player on the other team who is consistently at high altitude, searching for an undefended base that looks in need of a 250 kiloton renovation. Once you've identified your area, you need to identify your likely threats as well as the ranges you are likely to encounter them at. Are they going to be able to ambush you? Are you going to see them coming from miles away? Are you going to watch missiles launch from a dark reach well out of range where you can see the barrage coming the whole time? Those final questions are what is going to guide your loadout. If you're going to be engaging enemy air at medium range, bring all scythes. Scythes can be used defensively if needed, but you should be sending a Fox 3 as soon as you have a shot at the incoming aircraft. Remember, you don't need to kill them, just keep them out of the area. If you have clear sightlines or friendly radar, bring a few scimitars for extra standoff distance. They will extend your protective bubble much further than just scythes alone, but they are detrimental to carry if you can't use their extended range. If you are just focused on shooting down incoming missiles, use whatever loadout maximizes your magazine depth and are all of the same missile type. If you mix missiles here, you have to be very careful about not shooting twice at the same target, and generally speaking, that isn't worth carrying 1 or 2 fewer shots. Cap is both simple in presentation and very complex in execution. Shoot at incoming fighters is a short way of putting it, but in PvP you need to change the other player's behavior, not just shoot at them. This means psychological warfare can be added into the mix as well as the usual mechanical methods. This is also one of the best missions to have a friend with an AWACS join you, as it massively boosts the range you can cover. The most straightforward method to dissuade an enemy from entering your patrolled area is to just shoot at them. This will force them to either notch or shoot down your missile. If they notch and disengage, job done. One scythe is sometimes enough to get the kill on an unsuspecting player if they are approaching head-on and focused on their target, not you. If they notch your first shot and then turn back to engage, they need put down. If they do not have cover, such as while at high altitude or over open terrain, you can notch lock them until their capacitor burns out for the kill. Fire scythes in succession, but give each missile a 5 count between shots. This will force them to stay notched and run down their capacitor, giving you a near certain kill in exchange for 4 or 5 scythes. If you can't notch lock them because they're able to get to cover, engage them in a fight with as much advantage as you can get. However, if they shoot down your missile and stay nose hot, your threat evaluation of them needs to rise considerably. This indicates that they are a dedicated attacker, and your actions will not convince them to stop. If you have the range, and they are still nose hot, you need to send a burst of scythes with only slight pauses between them. This makes them the most difficult to lock and shoot down, but it is still possible. If the enemy is good enough, you may need to burn as many missiles as it takes to down them. You may have noticed that using missiles can either be very effective and use only a single shot, or just as easily burn half of your shots on a single opponent, meaning frequent rearms. This is where non-kinetic methods and psychological warfare come in. I've spoken many times about radar discipline, and this is no exception. However, you can spike an oncoming player to try to get them to break off. If you see an oncoming player who you know is pretty experienced, deliberately spiking them can get them to notch or break off before you even take a shot. Just like someone shooting down your missile, if you see a player immediately react to a spike, they are also a very high threat. A similar method is turning on your radar and turning nose hot to the incoming player while ensuring that they can see you on their map heading right at them. You need to already have made yourself enough of a threat that they don't believe they can beat you in a head-on fight, and thus break off the engagement. This is, of course, very difficult, as the kind of player who is going to have the situational awareness of his aspect to all enemy fighters is going to be a very dangerous foe indeed. On top of that, death is far less permanent than in real life, so they may just roll the dice anyway, and now you have to actually beat them in a fair fight. The consistent theme here is to know thy enemy. Always check names of players you have been engaging and try to build up a picture of how they fight. Just like MMA fighters or football teams, getting to know how your opponent fights will let you counter them better. Do they fly tactically and use weapons sparingly? Or do they send whole barrages? Are they cautious and only take battles they can win? Or do they charge in guns blazing? Sometimes you should repeatedly notch lock someone to death until they're demoralized and get the picture that they should stop flying into your area. Since we can always get a new airplane, sometimes a psychological stop is even more effective than a kill. For the example sortie, this time we'll actually have a number of sorties that I'll walk through my thought process of what I'm doing. They're not particularly exciting. It's mostly just me launching missiles at long range, but there's a little more specifics to it. So I'm out here doing caps over Feldspar. I'm just trying to make sure that no enemy forces get anywhere near the airfield. 2 AI chicanes. Just a couple Fox 3s at them. UH-90 over open water. I don't want him capping any points, so he gets a scythe. Cricket gets a scythe. I'm not concerned with tracking down these kills. As soon as I send one, I'm immediately targeting the next one. The only vehicles that I'm going to be focusing on are high-rank aircraft, where killing them can cause a significant amount of damage to the enemy team by burning out their airframes. The number of crickets and chicanes I shoot down don't really matter, so sending one is good enough, but sending 3 or 4 at an Ifrit is more than worth it, and splash an Ifrit. I try to maintain proximity to the base, that way as soon as I'm low on ammo I can just go land. And also you'll see me use my radar a lot more often in these clips. I'm not trying to be stealthy. I want them to know I'm up there, because I'm trying to dissuade them from coming over. So I want my radar saying, hey, I'm here. If you come over, I'll shoot you. So I'm spiking them. I'm sweeping my radar across them. I'm being as highly visible as possible. Sortie complete. We'll get right back up there. And you can see, I'm already locking targets while I'm waiting for the doors to open. I'm trying to identify who's the closest, who's the highest value target. So you can see there, I've got another Ifrit in my sights, as well as a Revoker and a Compass. So priority order is going to be the Ifrit first. But I just lost all of them on data link, and they're back, except for the Ifrit. So I clear it, accidentally shoot my main gun, send out 2 sides, immediately drop targets, and then send another one at the Revoker. I'm not too worried about the compasses. Sending 1 scythe is good enough, but 2 on a Revoker is good, because killing that would cost the pilot quite a bit.
Heads up, new contacts.
Here I'm using my radar to try to get those contacts back, and then turning it off because I am getting a little close, so I don't want to be showing my radar too much. And here I got missiles coming in. I lock one, and unfortunately I did not lock the second one for a counter missile. So down I go. But remember, never give up. As long as you have missiles, even if you're going down, open up that map, lock a target, and send it. I've gotten a large number of kills after my aircraft's been completely destroyed. And here you can see I'm checking, hoping. But nope, he was able to notch and jam it, so he got that kill, and I did not get a return on it. But if you're going down and you still have missiles and you die without shooting them, you're wrong. Always fight to the last second, because you never know when you might get that revenge kill. And here I just completely failed to click on scimitars twice in a row. Since the ranges are getting a little more expanded, they're getting a little pushed back, I wanted the scimitars just for that extra range. 17 clicks is still scythe range, but once I'm looking at 30 to 40, sending the scimitars gets a little more worth it.
New contacts. Watch it.
And there's just a whole mass of stuff, so I'm trying to figure out what's in there. I got 2 players on old data link, so nothing new there. So I'm like, alright, I'll shoot this compass. Send a scimitar, because I'm like, we'll see what happens. Looking for threats, looking for targets. Only getting radar pings from that north island. And here I'm surprised the scythe is still alive, or the compass is still alive, so I send another scythe.
Tally-ho on some new contacts.
He's still notching to me, so I don't really expect this one to hit. But I know he's burning down his capacitor. Now normally I wouldn't do this to a compass, but I didn't have anyone else to shoot at. And he's doing a fantastic job. I even called it out in the chat afterwards that he did a great job notching those. But I'm pretty sure his capacitor is going to run out on that last one, so I send another missile at a faraway plane and confirm the kill on the compass. As I said though, he did a great job notching those. I mean,
This is the ever lovely airborne warning and control.
it's pretty rare someone's able to keep the notch up that long.
Get on the clock.
Alright, here I'm taking off. I'm just locking everybody, because there's a whole bunch of targets up there, and I immediately start dumping rounds at them. There's only 2 players. You can see the rest are not players. But there's 5. And I'm looking, and there's not too many other targets presenting themselves. There's that one compass way bottom left. But I say, I'm already low on ammo, so I'll just send another wave, kill what I can kill, and then rearm.
Raise gear.
And remember, the ground crew fixes your airplanes for free. Don't worry about brakes, don't worry about landing gear. And we get some splashes rolling in. But remember, this is not about getting kills. This is about keeping the enemy as far away from this base as I can. Because if I can keep them out of bomb range, I can keep them out of missile range, that means I'm winning. And that brings us to the end of another video. Not too much to cover in this one. It's a pretty straightforward mission type. The key things to keep in mind are those psychological factors. Getting to know your opponent as you fight them makes this so much easier because you're able to tell how people are going to react when you start slinging missiles at them. And once you can predict how people are going to react, then you can start coming up with counterplay to what they're doing. So when you're defending an area, be sure to keep these things in mind. If there's anything that you particularly liked or didn't like or learned or tactics you want to discuss, go ahead and toss it down in the comments. If you have questions about the mods that I was using in this, I have a whole separate video that is me rambling about what mods I have, as well as my control setup. With that said, thank you very much for watching, and always remember, death to Paula, glory to the BDF.